This strike, Kolisi down the middle of the field, sucking in all the defenders, then it's Esterhuizen with a quick ball over the top, and then you know what happens. Rugby! Hello and welcome to me standing back a little bit further from the camera, but now there's a shadow on the wall, so please ignore that. And also, whew, am I lucky I came back last week. Now I can bask in the glow of a record victory untainted by the sin of fair weather fandom. Also, I'm still basking in the glow of all the love I received after last week's video. Everyone online that watches these videos seems to be a very lacquer person, which is what I want. And I'm glad you're all here. Thank you very much. Now, the Rugby Championship. Currently, it's delivering a sporting feast so rich we're all going to die of heart disease. It's never been this good. I think we can all confirm that. And round 4 this past weekend was a great one again. Let's get into it. Sydney, sold out. Sunny. Wallabies versus Los Pumas, number 2. It kicked off at 6 a.m. this past weekend in South Africa, so I didn't really get to watch it. I had to get my kids fed, dressed, stuffed in the car and off to their swimming lessons. But what I did glean online from, ignoring the lesson and watching Twitter was that the hosts saved all their penalties they haven't been getting this year for this one game. The Pumas scored 28 points to win, and 21 of them came off penalties that they slotted through the posts. The 7 points that they did score through a try wasn't even a lovely attacking move like we've come to enjoy. It was just Montoya charging down Taine and then beating the mustache to the ball. The Wallabies again had to come back from many points behind and nearly pulled it off again. They just don't give up. But this time Los Pumas hung on and they won, and the series was split, just like every other series this championship. Unfortunately, it's a bit shitty for all the fans who were there filling out the stadium, but very cool for all the Los Pumas fans who were singing the entire game, and I think are probably still singing now. Okay, so I genuinely don't know how to start talking about Wellington. For the first 40 minutes, it really did look like one of the greatest rivalry games. Both teams were throwing punches, both teams were taking punches. And it looked like it was going to go down to the wire. Except for that one little thing that's been creeping into the New Zealand game. A weak scrum. As recently as last year, both these team scrums were rated as the best in the world. The atoms stuck between the props' shoulders were turning into plasma from the pressure. But for some reason now the ABs have been slipping, and it's been causing a lot of issues. Especially when you have a scrum-loving Georgian on the whistle. He was probably just amazed at what the scrum was doing. He wasn't even blowing for penalties. With that set piece sewn up, the youngsters in the back line could chuck the ball about with gay abandon, knowing that the older heavies up front would bail them out of trouble if they dropped the ball. It's a nice place to be in. I will own up that maybe I wasn't a true believer pre-game. I was having premonitions of a goof troop-like meltdown like the Stormers had against Toulon earlier in the year because of all the personnel in the back line. But it seemed all the hardebaarden in the pack were telling the young kids in the back to just keep their heads screwed on. Marnie was playing a blinder. He was kicking his conversions, he was kicking well during play, and he wasn't throwing that long ball over the top when the AB's defensive line was up. With a 10 jersey sorted, early replacement Esterhuizen could just set the platform for Willemse and Moody to cook. Even Hooker as well. It was beautiful. The speed, the power, the skill, it was sapping all the energy out of the AB's legs, and by the end when Williams broke down the sideline, it looked like the ABs were just throwing their hands up in disgust. I've never seen that. But it did actually happen. This actually happened. And now the All Blacks got maybe the slightest taste of what it's like to lose 36-0 or 49-0 or 57-0. Not so nice, is it? This was just once for you. Anyways, I'm sure they will work themselves into a frothing, wood-chipping mess by 27 September. Then they can be the hydraulic press and the Wallabies can be the gummy bears. The very same Wallabies who are currently top of the Rugby Championship log. Only 2 points ahead of bottom of the log, Los Pumas. It's very close this year. And I've seen some people mention that the Wallabies are only up there because they got 2 bonus points from a try that should not have stood. And it's not very fair. But the next 2 games for the Springboks are against the Pumas, one in South Africa and then one in Twickenham, which some people call mini South Africa. So who's to say what's fair? Just watch the games, enjoy them, and know that we won't get to have this cool championship next year. Another comp that won't take place next year for entirely different reasons is the Rugby World Cup, currently taking place in England. After what the Bok boys did to the All Blacks in Wellington, a lot of us dared to dream about what the women's Boks could do to the Black Ferns in, I don't know where they played, Exeter or York? Who cares? It was 10-all at halftime though, and we all dared to dream. But after halftime, sanity prevailed and the Black Ferns restored cosmic order with a comprehensive win. That win did put them through to the semi-final with England, France and Canada, all the big goals of the competition, and things now really get metal. The favourites are still England because they haven't lost a game for 31 matches, or 32. Well, the 32nd match, the one that they did lose, was a doozy. So we'll see if they can get through that this time. Watch the games, enjoy them, and know that this is probably the last Women's World Cup where there will only be 4 teams vying for a win. Might be a little bit more next time. For the second week in a row, I didn't really look up news, but I know the big one is Jacques Nienaber re-signing until 2027 for Leinster. He's locked into his contract and will never leave to come consult with the Boks and all the Irish secrets right at the end. So, good luck, Jacques. We won't see you later. And then finally, I guess the other little bit of news is that the Lions are through to the Currie Cup final. It's been really watered down this year, so it'll be is it a Pyrrhic victory if you're just using one of your better teams against a bunch of small teams? I don't know. But I'll see if I can go to Ellis Park this weekend. If you see me, say hello. And then for now, I'll say bye. I'll see you all next week. Bye.